there, I'm Munira Aidenwala. I'm a pediatric occupational therapist and specialize in helping children with sensory processing, coordination, and writing difficulties. When kids struggle with handwriting, understandably, parents want to know what activities to do to help their writing. So today, I'm going to show you 2 ways you can help a child's writing, and then the type of activities that help support developing the skills that they need for writing. So this is an adapted version of the pyramid of learning, and which shows the order in which the skills develop for writing. So where it says learning, that involves skills for reading, writing, maths, concentration, and more. So this is the order in which skills develop, starting with sensory processing, then core strength, then fine motor, then visual motor skills, and then finally comes writing. And there are 2 ways in which you can help a child's writing. One is using what we call a bottom-up approach, which is where you start from the root cause of your child's writing difficulties and you develop the foundational sensory and motor skills that they need in sequence to reach the top skill of writing. And the benefits of this is that it emphasizes working on the process, and these skills that they develop will generalize to many other areas as well, and it creates longer lasting results. And then the second way that you can help a child's writing is by using what we call a top-down approach. And this is where you may be doing things like writing practice or pencil grips, or you may have quick fixes or accommodations to help the child handle the situation in the meanwhile, but they don't really address developing the actual root skills. They're here to support the child in the activity so that they can participate in it now. So today, let's talk about the bottom-up approach. And I'm going to explain with a story about my son who also struggles with pencil control and writing. I'm going to tell you about the day that he chose to knit, which, as you know, is a very tricky fine motor activity, and it's kind of like controlling 2 pencils all together. So initially on this particular day, I was really surprised that he chose and wanted to knit. But then when I looked back at our day and what he had done, it all made sense why he was comfortable to choose such a challenging fine motor activity for him. You see, on that day we had gone to our local common, which is like a huge park with tons of trees and ponds, and basically it's an outdoor nature playground. And he had done tons of climbing trees, balancing on logs, shimmying his body up tree trunks, and this fed his body with really great sensory information to his muscles and joints for increased body awareness. He then carried this really huge log that was really bigger than the size of him in his arms for about 10 minutes or so while walking through the park. And this strengthened his core, his shoulders, and his arms, and it also gave him feedback to his hands to get ready for challenging fine motor activities. So now that his whole body was activated and his arms were woken up and strengthened, he then had the underlying skills in place to do a tricky eye-hand coordination task like knitting. And this is the same as what's needed to help kids as writing too. So very simply put, the activities you need to develop skills for writing should start with whole body activities, then hand activities, and then eye-hand activities. And this is what I teach parents in my signature Foundations for Writing program. So just remember, when thinking of ways to help your child's writing, consider the no writing ways. I know it's hard to believe it is actually helping handwriting because you're not actually doing writing practice. But when you work in this bottom-up way, it helps develop the skills you need so that kids can then feel ready in their bodies and able to write when those skills are developed. And this is exactly why I call my Foundations for Writing program a no writing way to help writing. I hope that this gives you some ideas of the progression in which to do activities to help your child's skills for writing too. And I'll see you next time. Bye.